Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fun with Flags and History. I'm your host Frank, and in our previous videos, we explored the lead-up to, and of course, the 1993 Russian constitutional crisis. And today we're going to be talking about the remaining years of President Yeltsin's presidency, the rise of Vladimir Putin, and, briefly, the wars in Chechnya. Today we take a deeper dive into the events and complexities surrounding these topics. So buckle up folks, because we're about to embark on an even more detailed and mildly humorous journey through history. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into it, shall we? Let's begin with the aftermath of the constitutional crisis. While Boris Yeltsin emerged victorious, the fallout from the crisis left a bitter taste in the mouths of many Russians. The events exposed the fragility of democratic institutions in Russia and the willingness of those in power to trample over them when it suited their interests. It was a classic case of democracy for me, but not for thee. Bravo, Yeltsin, for showcasing your commitment to democratic values. As Yeltsin's presidency continued, so did his reputation for economic mismanagement. His economic reforms, often referred to as shock therapy, were more like a really shitty magic trick.
For this next trick, I need a quarter from the audience. Okay, thank you.
The Disappearing Act, the disappearance of the middle class as wealth concentrated in the hands of a few oligarchs who seemed to have a direct line to Yeltsin's inner circle, conveniently. The wonders of privatization, folks. State-owned assets were auctioned off at a bargain price, creating a breeding ground for crony capitalism. It was a race to see who could amass the most wealth by any means necessary. Ordinary Russians, meanwhile, were left with the illusion of ownership through a laughable voucher privatization, as if a piece of paper could magically transform their lives. But hey, at least the oligarchs were having a good time, right? The Yeltsin years were a roller coaster ride of economic instability, skyrocketing inflation, and rampant corruption. It was a bonanza for the wealthy elite, while ordinary citizens struggled to make ends meet. The wealth gap widened and social inequality reached staggering levels. Yeltsin's presidency became synonymous with cronyism, where loyalty to the regime determined success rather than talent or hard work. Ironic, I know. And then, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Vladimir Putin appeared on the scene. A former KGB operative, Putin promised to restore order and bring stability to the chaos that defined the Yeltsin era. Oh, how convenient. Putin, the master of political maneuvering, wasted no time in consolidating power. He brought media under state control, silencing critical voices and turning news outlets into mouthpieces for his regime. Freedom of speech took a nosedive, replaced by a carefully curated narrative that served Putin's interests. Talk about a well-oiled propaganda machine. As Putin's reign progressed, it became increasingly clear that democracy was more of a decorative ornament than a gilding principle. Opposition figures were either marginalized, imprisoned, or faced, let's just say, falling out of window syndrome.
It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.
Elections became predictable affairs, with the outcome predetermined in favor of the ruling party. It was a delicate dance of maintaining the appearance of democracy while clamping down on any genuine threats to Putin's power. But let's not forget Putin's fascination with his image. Whether it was posing shirtless on horseback or engaging in martial arts, Putin cultivated a carefully crafted persona of strength and masculinity. It's almost as if he was compensating for something, perhaps an insecurity about the legitimacy of his power.
Whoa, whoops, oh! I dropped My monster condom that I use for my Magnum Dong.
I'm out of here.
While Putin's grip on power tightened, the war in Chechnya became a chilling testament to his approach to dissent. What started as a conflict to quell separatists' aspirations in Chechnya quickly devolved into a brutal display of power by the Russian government. Putin, eager to establish his strongman image, utilized the Chechen wars as a means to bolster his popularity and solidify his role. The propaganda machine was in full swing, spinning tales of fighting terrorism and restoring order. But let's not be fooled by the rhetoric, shall we? Truth is, the wars in Chechnya were marked by egregious human rights abuses and the indiscriminate targeting of civilians. The Russian military, under the guise of fighting terrorism, engaged in tactics that left scars not only on the Chechen people, but also on Russia's reputation as a defender of human dignity. Putin's pursuit of victory at all costs resulted in the displacement of thousands, the destruction of homes and infrastructure, and the loss of countless lives. Yet, despite the overwhelming force exerted by the Russian government, the spirit of resistance burned bright within the Chechen people. They refused to be silenced or subjugated, and their struggle for self-determination continued, even in the face of unimaginable hardship. Their resilience and courage deserve our admiration and support. Meanwhile, back in Russia, Putin's regime tightened its grip on power, stifling dissent and suppressing opposition. The political landscape became increasingly barren, with independent voices marginalized or eliminated. The once vibrant civil society that had emerged in the wake of the constitutional crisis was suffocated, as NGOs faced restrictions and activists were branded as enemies of the state. Don't you just love that sweet smell of authoritarianism?
I love the smell of
Russian democracy dying.
in the morning. Smells like
Democrats taking over Russia again.
Anyways, Putin's rule saw a consolidation of wealth and power in the hands of a select few, with the oligarchs enjoying unprecedented influence and protection under his regime. The cozy relationship between the state and big business reached nauseating levels, as the interests of the elite were prioritized at the expense of the common good. But hey, who needs a functioning democracy when you have oligarchs running the show, am I right? As the years passed, Putin's cult of personality grew stronger. His image adorned billboards, his speeches were broadcast on every channel, and his tough guy persona was meticulously curated to maintain the illusion of strength and stability. But beneath the surface, cracks began to appear. Dissatisfaction simmered among those yearning for true democracy, genuine representation, and a future free from the grip of a single individual. And so, we find ourselves at a crossroads in Russian history. The legacy of the constitutional crisis, the turbulent Yeltsin years, and the rise of Vladimir Putin have shaped the country's trajectory. The question remains, can Russia find a way to reconcile its troubled past, embrace democracy, and forge a path towards a more equitable future? The struggle for a better Russia continues, carried forward by brave activists, journalists, and ordinary citizens who refuse to be silenced. Their fight for social justice, human rights, and genuine democracy echoes throughout the nation, challenging the status quo and calling for change. Thank you guys for, of course, watching this video and the conclusion on our Russian Constitutional Crisis series. If you enjoyed it, of course, please leave a like. And if you want to support our channel in other ways, of course, subscribe and click the notification bell, as I do this voluntarily. I don't take any money from this, and of course, any support is appreciated, even as simple as just watching my videos. And of course, if you want to check us out, you can check us out on Facebook and TikTok, link in the descriptions below. And, of course, if you have any thoughts, whether it be comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, leave a comment down below. I watch and look at every comment after every video that I make, so of course I appreciate any and all of them. Seriously. Anyways, guys, this is of course Frank with Fun with Flags and History, Signing off, have yourself a good one, and of course, keep exploring history. Wait. Let me just say one more thing before I go. I just wanted to say, for those out there, to remember that history is not just a collection of facts. It is a reminder of our collective power to shape the future. So, let's stand together in the pursuit of a world where justice, equality, and freedom reign supreme. This is, of course, Frank with Fun Flags in History. Signing off. Have yourself a good one.